Hey, Coach Sil is here. I am live. Welcome. I hope you are having an amazing day today, as I wish you would every single day. But today, I have a great topic. And this topic could be a possible breakthrough for you. So listen up very closely. As you know, the title of this topic today is Turn Your Reasons into Your Whys. You're like, what are you talking about? Turn my reasons into my whys. Well, I'm going to explain here in just a moment. And by the end of this show, you are going to have a tool that you can take that is going to produce results in your life as it pertains to, honestly, it really pertains to anything. But today I'm going to focus on health and fitness. But this strategy can pertain to all areas of life. So let's go. All right. First of all, I wanted to talk about some of my reasons. As you know, a couple of years ago, I lost 50 pounds. And I could tell you that I tried to lose those 50 pounds for a whole lot longer than it took me to actually lose it. And literally years and years and years. I can recall literally after having my son, that was the first real time I came face to face with struggling with my weight. Because I was like, yeah, I know I just had a baby, but I'm 20 and surely this weight will just come off, right? But it did not. So I was a little stressed over that, and that started my journey of diets and fads and anything possible to get the weight off. And so we're talking about nearly 20 years to get that weight off. And yeah, I just told my age. Bam. But I struggled because I focused on all the wrong things, and I really didn't know how to use the strategy I'm going to give you all today. So you are going to have a heads up on me. Hopefully it hasn't been 20 years, but maybe it has. Maybe it's been 30 years, 40 years. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, because as long as you're still breathing, there's still an opportunity, and it's up to you to take hold of that opportunity. So some of my reasons, so let's talk about what I mean by turn your reasons into your whys. I'm talking about turn the reasons why you struggle to start your journey to a healthy lifestyle, start your journey to losing weight, start your journey to, whatever it pertains to health and fitness. Why, turning the reasons for that struggle into why you will fight and succeed. So some of the reasons that I struggled was because I really wanted a quick fix. That was one of the reasons I struggled. I wanted a quick fix. I didn't want to put in the work. I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to eat right. I didn't really want to do those things, but I really, really wanted to lose the weight, or so I told myself. All right, another thing that I did was, another reason I had was I really, one of the reasons I struggled is because of past failures. I don't know if any of you have thought about this. Uh-oh, Marcel. One of the reasons, I struggled was that I had already done so many other programs, I had tried so many other fad diets, and every time it never worked. And honestly, it's probably because I didn't work it, but to me, they were past failures. And it was because of those failures that started to become the reason for me for not actually succeeding. And, so again, one of my reasons is past failures. One of the reasons I wanted a quick fix. Another reason was commitment phobia. I wonder if any of you all can relate to me about commitment phobia. And that's where you just can't commit to anything. You're like, you know what? I'm not going to even start this because I already know that I'm not going to finish. I already know that I'm not going to stay committed. And I'll be honest, I dealt with commitment phobia in other areas of my life. I'm that type of person. I enjoy change. I like things to keep moving, keep evolving. And I really, at one point in my life, thought, man, am I a person that can stay committed to something? Because I would start stuff and not finish all the time. Like, I mean, finish something? Really? No, not me. And so literally it's night and day in my life, because clearly I'm constantly talking to you all about finishing what you start. But I had a commitment phobia. And so the very thought of starting a program or starting a journey, I'm like, all I can think about is, you know what? I am not going to finish. I don't trust myself. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to see it to the end. I'm not, I'm going to either waste my money, waste my time, waste my emotions, whatever, but I already know I'm not going to be committed. And so those are my reasons that I failed. So let's talk about some of the reasons that you may be dealing with. And those reasons are causing you to fail at starting your weight loss journey, starting it, continuing it, and or finishing it. Let's talk about some of the reasons. And I'm just basing these off of reasons I've actually heard from clients I've had before. And these are the reasons they've shared with me. So I've heard people say the reason I've had this struggle is there's not the spark in my marriage is gone. Can any of you all relate? You're dealing with, maybe you want to lose weight, and the spark in the marriage, it's not really there, because you don't feel good about your body. And this is not to say that a person's weight defines whether they have a good marriage. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying because of what you feel about how you look, about your weight, that is causing, there's not a spark anymore in the marriage, okay? Another thing I've heard people say, the reason they've struggled is they're really miserable. They're either on a bunch of medications, they're really sick, they're carrying extra weight, they know it's unhealthy, and they're miserable. And so that's been a reason that they've struggled. Okay, another one is I'm embarrassed. I'm an embarrassment to my kids. Have any of you all felt that way before? You take your kids to school, and maybe some of the other soccer moms, they're in these size 2 or whatever, and they just look like they have the perfect life. And here you feel almost like an embarrassment to your kids. And that has been a struggle for you to really pursue your journey, and we'll talk about the reverse of that. The next is, have you ever seen, I've heard people say this to me, I saw a photo of myself on social media. You know how you can't, somebody post a photo of you, I didn't see that photo before you posted it, but they post this photo of you and you're like, oh my goodness, I did not know I looked like that. In my head, I was looking a lot different. Now, if you all have heard my story, I told you there were some years ago, with the extra 50 pounds on, there was moments I was walking around like I was a size 2, and really in my head thinking that, and then I would see a picture, I'm like, oh my goodness, okay? So that's a reason for some people, at least people that I've talked to, have said that has been a struggle for them to start, continue, or finish their journey. All right, last one that I've been told is I'm tired of the doctor warning me that I'm potentially a candidate for type 2 diabetes. Yes. I mean, can you imagine, you go to the doctor, and every time you go to the doctor's telling, hey, you are in jeopardy of having type 2 diabetes. Okay, right? Just okay. That's all I'm going to say. Because we're going to talk. I want to get to the reverse of this. How we turn these reasons that have stopped us in our tracks from starting, continuing, or finishing our journey. How do we turn these into our whys? The very thing that's going to fuel us to start, continue, and finally finish. I mean, how many of us have started, we got to the beginning, we got to the middle, But man, we have never seen the end. And you know what I mean by the end? The end is when you can go in your closet and you have to buy all new clothes. And I'm not just saying all new clothes because you lost 15 of the 75 pounds you wanted to lose. And the 15 pounds you lost, really, your clothes just don't really look that great anymore. No, I'm talking about because you got to the desired goal that you had. And that's different from every person. For some people, there's a number associated with it, and it's a healthy number. It's getting off medications. It's not being a candidate for type 2 diabetes any longer, or high cholesterol and all these other chronic diseases. Maybe it's, so it's all of these different things. But how do we turn our reasons into our whys? So let's figure out how we do that. I'm going to share with that right now. So the first thing is, okay, so let's take some of these examples. If you are a person like myself, I dealt with the fact that I had failed at almost every other diet program before. If you are that person, how do you switch this and make it where it literally becomes the why? I could tell you right now. Make the fact that you failed at everything else be the thing that you can finally say, you know what? I have failed at every other attempt that I've made in this area in my life. But this time, I'm going to make it the reason why I'm going to continue, the reason why I'm going to finish. Because I'm not a failure. And nothing in my life will be defined as a failure. So now what I'm going to do is that thing that kept me from what I wanted, I'm going to make it the thing that's going to fuel me to get to what I want. And that is the finish line. So you failure, I'm talking to failure. You failure, you're gone, you're done, you're out. I'm winning here on out. So anything that reminds you of that failure, it's gone, it's out. So maybe it's because of what you were doing, maybe the program, maybe because you wanted to, you're popping some pills or whatever the case is. Whatever it was that relates or associates or is affiliated to that failure, it's gone, it's done. And it's going to fuel my why. It's going to become my why. All right, next. People, if you're like me, I wanted a quick fix. I can't tell you how many pills I've bought over the years and okay, this is it. This is it. I can lose that 10 pounds. I can lose that 15. I can lose that 20. I can lose that 30. Notice how my numbers are going up? Because every time I try to have a quick fix, I just gain weight. And so there was a time when all I needed to lose was 10, then 15, then 20, 30. Well, eventually it became I needed to lose 50 because I kept looking for a quick fix and none of them worked. And so now I'm going to make that my why. My reason was that I wanted a quick fix and that caused me to fail. But my why is now that I know quick fixes don't work. And I don't want my story that I get to tell and encourage other people to start, continue, and finish their journey to be that I had a quick fix. I don't want that to be part of my story. I want my story to be that I made a decision, that I was willing, that I was worth it to do what was necessary to get to my goal. That's the story I want to tell. Let's make your why. If we look at the quick fix, if we look at past failures, turn that into the why that I want to have a good story. What will be your story that you will tell other people about your journey? Will you tell them that I popped a pill to hurry up and lose this weight? Is that going to be your story? What will be your story? And everything you do from this moment forward is writing your story. And it could be a story that transforms other people's lives, or it can be a story that is embarrassing to share. Which do you want to have? All right, next. Okay, so let's go into some of the ones where, people have told me this has been the reason they've struggled. Let's go to that whole, I'm tired of the doctor warning me about diabetes, that I'm a potential candidate for diabetes. If that is the reason that has stopped you, because you're like, you know what, man, I'm already possibly a candidate for diabetes. This is hard. This is hard. Make that your why. How many other people are dealing with what you're dealing with? How many people currently have type 2 diabetes? And by the way, it is a preventable disease. How many people are dealing with that right now? How great would it be that you can take that and make it the reason why you're going to do something different, the reason why you're going to start your journey, the reason why you're going to continue on your journey, the reason why you're going to finish your journey. How great is that? Okay? All right. So I said it before. I'm embarrassed to be seen. Oh, I don't know if I said this before. I'm embarrassed to be seen in public, or I'm embarrassed to be naked in front of my spouse. That is, for a lot of people, it just is not enough for them. That's their reason, but it's not enough for them to do anything about it. Well, make it your why. Make that become, you know what? I want where I feel, I don't care who's around. I don't care if I'm in public. I feel good about myself. And again, that is not associated with a number. That is being good, feeling good about who you are, feeling great about your body because of what you did to get that body, what you did to maintain that body. So, if that's your reason, turn it into your why. Okay, we talked about people being embarrassment for their kids. Going to the school play, going to the school activities with your kids, and you're kind of embarrassed. You're looking at the other moms. Well, first of all, you don't need to worry about what anybody else is doing. And the person that seems to have it all together probably doesn't. And even if they do, it doesn't define who you are and what you're going through. So first of all, who cares about what the other mothers look like? But let's talk about how you feel about what you look like. So if you're dealing with embarrassment, meaning you're embarrassed for your kids, you're embarrassed to be around other people with your kids for the sake of your kids, then make that your why. Make your kids your why. If I can't find it within myself to do this for myself, surely I can do this for my kids. I know these are real things that people deal with because I've been told that. I know that people are dealing with the fact that they feel like the spark is gone from their marriage. They feel like they're embarrassment to their kids. They're tired of going to their doctor's office and hearing that they're a potential candidate for certain chronic diseases. They're tired of that. This is a real thing, and people are dealing with this every single day. But these are the very things that can fuel us to get to what we want. It can be your why. What will be your why? And I'll tell you, I'm going to remind you that your why is something that you're going to have an emotional connection to. So maybe it's not enough that you want to just not be embarrassed by your kids. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe it's because you just don't want your kids to ever have to be embarrassed about the way they look. That's when we go 2, 3, 4 feet deeper. You see how we turn our reasons into our whys? Your reason is your embarrassment to your kids. But what about you? But what about it becoming your why, that your kids never have to experience being embarrassed about themselves? Because our kids are following what we do. We are the example, whether we believe it or not. And I constantly bring up our kids. Why do I do that? I do it for two reasons. One, most of us will do whatever we need to do for the sake of our kids, for the benefit of our kids. And then two, if you can't find it within yourself to do it for yourself, surely you should be able to find it to do it for your kids. I'm not talking about having a perfect body. I'm not talking about fitting into a certain size clothing. I am talking about what defines your health. What defines the health of your kids? What defines the health of your grandkids? Is what you are doing right now going to help define good health in your life, your kids' life, your grandkids? Can you honestly say to yourself that you are an example to your kids about what it means to be interested in good health for yourself? Are you an example? If you are not an example, make that your why. I want to be an example. You know, another great reason that you can turn into your why is, getting old, aging, that's not fun. And for a lot of people, it causes anxiety. But what if that became your why? What if the very fact of aging and getting older became something that you felt like you had a little bit more control over that process? Some of us get up every day and we just let life happen to us. And we're just getting older and older and older. And before you know it, we're looking, we got crickety knees, we got bad backs, we can't walk, we can't move, our hips don't work like how they used to, I can't see, all of these things are happening because we just let it happen. But what if I turn that reason into my why? What if, listen up, what if I actually say, you know what, I'm going to decide, I'm going to be proactive in the way that I age. The way that I age is I work out. Because I want to be able to keep moving, I am interested in the food that I put in my body because I don't want to be the reason that I possibly have to entertain being a candidate for a chronic disease. I know that was a lot of words, but let your reason be your why. All right, I'm going to wrap up with this. What is your why? Why will you start your journey to a healthy lifestyle? Why will you continue it? Why will you finish it? For a lot of people, they've started, they've been on the journey, but they've never, ever, ever have finished it. What is a why that is big enough for you to do something different? To be different. This, my friend, you are writing your story. What story will you tell about your journey? Will it be a story that empowers and motivates and encourages someone else that is struggling? Or will it be a story that nobody wants to hear, that does not encourage anyone? What will be your story? The way that you tell your story or how you get to your story is by identifying your why. How do you get to your why? You turn your reasons into your whys. I hope this has encouraged you. I hope that you've gotten to a place where you can say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the reasons that have stopped me. I'm done. I have found my why. And my why is big enough for me to start, continue, and finish. I hope this has helped. And you know what? Share this. If you know that there are other people that need to hear this information, There are people out there that are struggling. Share this video with them. Discovering your why has to be the number one thing you must do when you're starting your journey to weight loss, to good health, to transformation. Discovering your why is the first step. The first step is not to get a gym membership. The first step is not to go weigh yourself on a scale. The first step is not to get workout clothes. That is not the first step. The first step is discover your why, which is why it's chapter 1 in my book. My book. Right here. Oops. The 12-Hour Shift Slim Down. Chapter 1. This is not a promotion for the book, but I talk about your why. And that's the reason it's chapter 1 is because it is the most important thing. You get that right, you get that absolutely spot on, you're good, you're golden. And you just follow the other steps and process. But you got to get that part right. All right, that's it. I'm Coach Sil. I came deep a little bit today, but that's okay. Sometimes I have to do that. Not so many jokes and laughing today. But hopefully this is a message that will inspire you and encourage you. I believe in you. I believe that it does not matter how many times you failed. I truly believe that because I was a person that failed so many times for so many years. But I didn't let that stop me. Don't let it stop you. And I don't care, and don't you care what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what they think. For some people, they've written you off. They've written you off and said she'll never transform her body. She'll never transform her health. They've written you off. But let them write you off no more. Not because you go tell them anything, but because you show it. You prove it with your actions. All right, that's it. This is Coach Sil every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here, Facebook Live. I'll be back next week with a brand new topic. You all have a great day. I'm out. In a second.